Today I am here with Aaron Waters, a senior illustration major at SCAD and a tattoo artist. He is currently tattooing, and we're going to get into the interview. Starting with the first question, Aaron, how has studying illustration influenced the way you design tattoos?
I'd say it's just gone like that extra knowledge to consider like more things like placement on the body, if it would translate well to a tattoo, just stuff like that. Just those little minute things that make the big difference versus an illustration, compared to a tattoo.
So do you see tattooing as an extension of illustration or a different art form?
Absolutely, I see it as an extension. It's more or less just drawing, just on a different surface,
So,
yeah.
what changes in your creative process when your canvas is skin instead of paper?
When my canvas is skin, I'm a lot more careful, and I move a lot slower, which honestly I probably should do when I'm drawing anyways, but yeah, just because if you go too deep on human skin, then that's like a real big deal,
Yeah.
Mess up the whole tattoo and maybe even trip to the hospital.
So are there things you can do in illustration that don't translate as well in your tattooing process?
Yeah, like I can make some pretty like hard marks very fast when I'm illustrating, but if I do that with a tattoo machine, it's just gonna be blood everywhere, and that's not fun.
No. So then how do you balance your personal artistic styles with illustration and what you want based off what the client wants?
I typically I'll give my input, if it's a tattoo I'm designing myself, well then usually that person will know, like, I'm gonna put my own sort of spin on it and that's what they want from me. But if I'm handed an image and you just want that specific image tattooed on you, I'm just gonna approach it like just, plain artist, I'm just doing the job,
What does it mean to you? How does it feel to create art that lives permanently on somebody's body?
It's the coolest thing ever for me, honestly, because I want my art to be everywhere, and the fact that people can wear my art, even if it's like on their skin and not just on clothes, like that's just one of those things that's like a cool thing, a cool feeling.
And does the part of the body take part in the composition as well? Does that affect your tattooing process?
Absolutely. I mean, depending on the part of the body, the tattoo can look a lot different when when the skin moves around, and if certain skin becomes, expands versus contracts. In certain areas of the body, the tattoo can look a little different after a while, or if serious weight change happens,
Yeah.
But yeah.
So getting into the tattoo you're doing right now, it's an artist logo. So do you see certain music scenes or subcultures influencing tattoos people ask you for?
I see a little bit, from the short time I've been tattooing. I feel like based on, whatever scene you're from, your tattoo, like the style of it, it's gonna reflect just within the context of that person, alone. And so
you think tattoos act more as markers of belonging within certain communities and subcultures?
absolutely.
And how do cultural or music references shape the imagery these people choose?
It just really, it depends on the context of that person, The same person can get a tattoo, but they have a bunch of other tattoos compared to a different person who gets the same tattoo, You got two different tattoos around other tattoos that are much different, so the context can change like that.
And when you're tattooing something tied to music or a scene, does that change how you approach the design at all?
A little bit, if I'm doing something like this, which is, a hardcore, like, heavy metal band, there's more attitude behind this logo than, say, a butterfly, But, yeah, it's nothing too crazy like that. It's just the spirit, different spirit.
So how are you translating something like a band, which is sound and energy, into a visual image for skin?
I'm keeping my lines crispy, clean as I can, just to reflect, that polished sounds that a popular band can have.
Yeah. And do you think about how this tattoo will look when the body moves on stage, in photos, or in daily life?
Absolutely. The shoulder isn't going to move a whole lot just because the skin there is tighter than, say, on like a stomach or on a back.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely, that's always a consideration.
And does that change how you go about tattooing?
Yeah, because I always want to deliver a great tattoo, and so if I feel like the idea isn't fully there when it comes to placement, and it's something we should adjust, I'll always bring it up to the client and just make sure we're on the same page and everyone's happy.
So a question for the client: what about this band and image made you want it on your body permanently?
I remember I was in high school at the time. This was like 11th grade. And I was talking to this kid named Tommy. He was like, "Oh, so you're new to North Carolina?" I was like, "Oh, yeah." He was like, "There's this band coming to town next weekend." I had no friends at the time. This is like fresh, new high school, new scene. So I was like, "Yeah, dude, I'll totally go." And the band that came was Vane FM to Greensboro, North Carolina. So we went, and I'm thinking nothing of it. Like, oh, it's just probably like, local band, whatever, Plaza. We get there, dude, that whole like hour set changed my whole entire life. And ever since that day, I've been listening to Vane, like, every single day. So yeah, I just had like a really deep connection with the band. And like every single lyrics makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And even they have a second band now called Fleshwater. So even that band speaks to me. Like the lyrics and the instrumentals all are just so good.
Love Fleshwater.
Yeah, I love Fleshwater. And it's just like lyrics that you can relate to, whether like it's a sad song, it's a hype song, etc.
So for Aaron, is there a different kind of pressure hearing something so personal to Noah and you having to translate and tattoo that on his body permanently?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, anytime there's a personal connection behind a tattoo, it's like that little bit of added pressure, depending on what it is. But I think I never try to think too much on it, just because at the end of the day, I still know how to just do my job, to make sure I do it the correct way. Yeah.
Have you always had that mindset on it, or has that changed as you've tattooed more?
I've always had that mindset. Tattooing, I won't say it came easy, but I find it to be very intuitive considering I come from an illustration background. So I'd say so. It's never too challenging for me to just get through a project.
Do you see a connection between tattoo, art, and fashion illustration?
That's a good question. I guess I could see a comparison as like it's a very stylistic thing, whenever you interpret someone's garment, or tattoo, like, because that's going on that person. That's their accessory right there, just to their body. So I think it's similar in that way, just interpreting something, for other people to like advertise.
And do those two things, tattoo art and fashion illustration, inspire each other in your work?
Absolutely. Anytime I can cross worlds, I'm always down to do that.
And then looking more into fashion, are there any current fashion trends you're particularly inspired by or excited to illustrate?
Damn. I don't even know any solid fashion trends right now. I thought Napoleon jackets were pretty sick.
Yeah.
I'm actually in the middle of drawing one right now for a project.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, that's like the only trend I've been able to like keep up with.
So you called tattoos an accessory earlier. Do you think they function almost as permanent styling or accessories?
I'd say accessories, just because you can always cover up a tattoo depending on where it is. But some days you got the tattoos all out. Mm-hmm. It changes the whole outfit.
Yeah.
It changes your whole look as a person. So I'd say that they're, accessories to an extent.
So tattoos do interact with clothing. Do you ever think about how specific garments will frame your work?
I haven't thought about that, but now I am thinking about that, Oh shit, everyone needs to just wear like perfect clothes so the tattoos look sick as possible all the time.
So what is something you think people misunderstand about tattooing as an art form? Because there is talks about whether that's an art, some people look down on tattooing.
I feel like all art deserves to be appreciated, and a big thing people don't understand about tattooing is that you need to know how to draw to be able to tattoo.
Yeah.
And if drawing is seen as something that's is very skillful, I think tattooing should, and I think they should both be taken just as serious as one another as art forms.
How do you want your work to impact the people who wear it permanently?
I want them to always be proud of it. I want them to, I want them to be excited that, that I did it, and also that it's something that they love, And I just want I want it to be cherished.
Beautiful. That is all my questions. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for asking.